GEEK Files, 2026, April 22nd. Transprovincial out of Terrace, fall of 88, spring of 92. So I did an engine change, or a crew change. I can't remember whether it was in Johnny Mountain or Snep. I'm coming back. And so when you do those, you talk to the outgoing mechanic to figure out what was going on. In this particular Bristol freighter, the left engine was kind of doing weird things. They couldn't find any specific, but it kind of was acting strange. And that's concerning because Bristol freighters, with their props spinning counterclockwise, you lose the left engine and things get interesting because the right engine's critical engine. So I'm flying back, and like I said, pilots, if you might have guessed, I'm really not a big fan of a lot of pilots. They're extremely intelligent people, highly trained, doing a phenomenally boring job. And their training centers around waiting for something to go haywire so that they can put, their skills to use. And because of that, they can do some amazingly whiskey tango foxtrot stuff out of just sheer boredom. So we're flying back, and there's this, I can't remember what pilot it was. I'm not sure if Dale was the co-pilot. Dale might have been the co-pilot. Co-pilots up north tend to be, at that time, pretty secondary people. I can remember a lot of captains just looked at their co-pilots and said, "You're here for insurance purposes and to work the radio, so don't touch a damn thing." So we're flying back. This captain's flying. We know we've got a wonky left engine, and so you don't do anything stressful to the engine, like no weird power changes. And just nurse it along, because they just weren't making any Bristol Hercules engines, and spare parts were a thing to find. We had our own in-house engine repair facility, but those guys were all homeschooled. So we're flying along down the Iska to Stikine at a reasonable altitude, doing reasonable things, and all of a sudden they see the hovercraft going downriver. So this pilot with a wonky left engine decides that he is going to do a buzz job on the hovercraft just for shits and giggles. So he does that, and I immediately chew his butt out, like, "What are you doing?" And he's going, "Well, a bad engine's a bad engine." And I'm going, "Yeah, but it's your critical engine. You're in the middle of nowhere. If that engine goes, you're fully loaded. You're on the deck. You got issues now because you don't know whether you can climb out of this or not. You're in a valley with no place to land at all." So he didn't really like that. But anyway, I didn't care. Like I said, if a pilot wants to kill himself by doing stupid things in aircraft, have at it. It's when he takes people who are trusting him along with him that really gets under my skin. So the shift it's a 2-week shift. The shift goes fine. We're going to do a crew change, in Johnny Mountain. And so we take off out of Wrangell, and just after takeoff, we're about 100 feet. All of a sudden, the left engine coughs. I'm in the jump seat, and I can see reflected on the inside of the window flames that are shooting out of the intake. Intake's on top of the engine. And these two guys go into panic mode because we got a left engine fire now. We're full of fuel, full of cargo. So they try and they hit the bottles, the extinguisher bottles, and they don't work. So now we've got a left engine on fire just after 100 feet after takeoff. It was spring, I remember that. And they're trying to figure out what to do because this was really not something that was in their game plan. By this time, with my background, it's just like, yeah, like just shut the engine down, just like kill the fuel. And it takes them a while to sort through that. But meanwhile, we're going to land, but instead of doing just a teardrop and getting the aircraft back on the ground, they decide to do a full racetrack, which at Wrangell on the airport borders the water. We're out over the Pacific Ocean now. It's in protected water, but we're out over the water, salt water, in spring. So we're either going to land the aircraft or we're going to melt the left wing off and go down into the water as a ball, or we're going to, and I'm going to either burn or freeze to death, right? Like we're the options here are narrowing rapidly. And miraculously, the fire goes out on the engine. So the big concern with radial engines is they have a centrifugal supercharger, which are normally made out of magnesium. If that thing catches fire, it's really hard to put out. Like, it doesn't matter where you are. This thing is, unless you can deprive it of oxygen long enough to cool it down so that it won't reignite, you're screwed. Because like you pour water on a magnesium fire and it just burns hotter. So like, So we actually do the full racetrack. We get landed someplace way out over the water. The engine fire actually goes out for some reason, and we turn the aircraft in and get it landed. And I get off, and I get out of the aircraft, and I don't say anything because I'm just like, you practice this. This was your golden opportunity, and you guys were fumbling around up in the cockpit like Abbott and Costello, like, what do we do? How do we do this? It's just like, yeah. So I lived through that one. But yeah, that was, I wasn't even really, I can remember, this wasn't like taking off out of, on the Caribou, on any of the things that ever happened on the Caribou, those crazy incidents where I'm going like, well, this is how I die. This was just like, go for frog snacks, guys. Like, get your crap together, because cheese and rice. So this isn't a hard thing. Like, and just get us back onto the runway as fast as you can. And who cares about the aircraft? Yeah, that's the other thing. Pilots tend to want to save the aircraft instead of just like saving the people. Oh, I can manage this. I got this. Oh crap, I don't. And then everybody dies. Anyway, yeah. So making appropriate life decisions. Oh yes. And when they did the engine teardown, the supercharger had caught on fire. And that was the big problem, why they couldn't get the fire out. And I have no idea why it put itself out, because like, it's avgas, so like the supercharger's after, it's a wet supercharger, so it's after the bulk injector of the carburetor, so you're just pouring air and fuel, avgas, onto magnesium fire, and that's just not a good combination at all for putting fires out. So yeah, miraculous, absolutely miraculous. Yeah, so making appropriate decisions. You don't make any money, but you get good stories.